Welcome to the September 2022 Star Wars Canon Update. Last month we got 4 episodes of Andor, a short story, and 8 new comics, so let's get started. The first 4 episodes of Andor were released, and I am loving them so far. It's starting out very small and personal, and I really enjoy seeing the story of how small, personal moments will ripple out, escalate, and get worse and worse. How even a little community and the decisions they make can have major consequences for the galaxy. Episode 4 specifically had more canon implications than the first 3, lots of fun Easter eggs in Luthen's antiquities shop, learning about Mon Mothma's home life, seeing a more vulnerable side of her, and some fun mentions of characters like Sly Moore and Ars Dangor, and the best on-screen depiction of the Imperial Security Bureau that we have ever seen. It's so cool to finally see this stuff in live action after reading about it for decades. Also, it's just great to see Coruscant again. If you're watching this video, I assume you've already watched all 4 episodes, and I've already covered them all extensively, so I won't spend any more time on them here. If you want to watch my reviews, I will put them in the cards. There was one short story in the most recent issue of Star Wars Insider, which is technically the official start of Phase 2 of the High Republic. Tales of Enlightenment: New Prospects by George Mann starts the story of a pilot, her capture by pirates, and how a Jedi rescued her. Nothing major happens in it, but I still really enjoyed it, and it successfully got me hyped for the books to come back in just a couple days. Moving on to comics, Star Wars issue 27 was good. I liked the start of this arc last month, and this is keeping up a good momentum. We're following a family of Imperial double agents for Crimson Dawn who worked on the second Death Star and are now trying to tell the Rebel Alliance of its existence. The characters are likable, but I really love that if they're successful, it means Kira's plan is going to work. If the Rebels find out about the second Death Star thanks to her, then she will bring down the Sith and the Empire and Palpatine, just not in the way that she expects. It'll be a roundabout way, but she will have helped the galaxy even if the rest of her goals aren't achieved. This little development is adding a lot of weight to Kira's comic book return. Darth Vader issue 27 was okay. Vader saved Sabe last month, and this time around, Vader needed saving after disabling a mobile fortress everyone literally calls a death machine that's draining energy from the planet, turning it into a desert. So basically Vader's worst nightmare. I do like the creative ways to dig into Vader's past, but I'm not into this current villain. I don't fully understand her motivations, but we do learn she is apparently taking orders from Palpatine, probably as yet another test for his apprentice. Vader nearly overexerts himself, taking on the death machine alone, but Sabe rescues him when she could have killed him, deciding to trust Padme's belief that there is still good in Anakin. Dr. Aphra continued to rock with issue 24. I was legit upset when it ended this month because it just keeps staying awesome, and Alyssa Wong knows how to end on a cliffhanger. Aphra is stuck inside her own memories by the Spark Eternal, which has possessed her physical body. In her mind, Aphra meets Myrrel, the original and ancient leader of the Ascendant who first created the Spark and battled the Sith Darkseekers who sought to destroy her, which by itself is a fun new canon fact about the Sith. Myrrel reveals that the Ascendant created some sort of sword to combat the Sith, and that's how the issue ends. Also, Sanastaros and Magna Tolven negotiate with the murderous droids 000 and BT-1. I could always do with more 000, but I'll wait until next month. I love this series. Bounty Hunters issue 27 was alright. I think I liked it more than most issues of the series, as we're getting to learn a little more about the characters, specifically Tasu Leech, which I think is fun. The crew is hired to protect a high-level member of the Pike Syndicate, but when Tasu learns he was responsible for the massacre of some of his people on Narkanji, he kills the Pike. I'm interested to see Leech continuing to get the focus, because up until this point, he's been an over-the-top caricature, which I think was by design. He's definitely masking a rough past that I look forward to reading about. Han Solo and Chewbacca issue 6 is still a fun time, but I've gotta say I'm sad to see the two title characters separated. I mean, it's a good story, and getting to eventually see them reunite is gonna feel good. I just miss their shenanigans together. And Han is out of commission, so we spend a lot of time with the other smugglers who I'm kind of meh about, but Chewbacca surviving prison with Dr. Evazan and Ponda Baba and Maz Kanata and a new character named Phaedra, I like all of that stuff. There have been a decent amount of prison stories in the Star Wars comics over the past 7 years, and I think I always liked them. The 5th and final issue of ObiWan was okay. A group of stormtroopers attack some Tusken Raiders and are handily defeated. Ben cares for the lone survivor, who runs off and returns to the Empire after realizing his caretaker was a Jedi. But he keeps his mouth shut and maybe starts to feel a change in his heart. It's unclear. The whole series was fine. I don't feel like I learned anything new about Kenobi's character. I just learned about a few more adventures, which is okay, but I wouldn't call it essential reading or anything. Hyperspace Stories issue 2 was back to just being alright. I still prefer it over Star Wars Adventures and the format of having just one story instead of two, but now for 2 issues in a row, I've felt like there have been setups with no conclusions. The first issue about Anakin and Padme left a mystery of a hidden gem inside a Wookiee doll, and then this issue was about Luke and Leia trying to escape the Empire on a planet, and then they come across a Wookiee doll, and I thought it might connect back to the first issue, but it didn't, at least not yet. And then they leave the planet after some people ask for help, and I'm sure the Rebel Alliance will help them, but there wasn't any closure on that front. I don't know, the Wookiee doll was this weird coincidence that made the whole thing feel off to me. Finally, the 3rd issue of the comic adaptation of The Mandalorian was like the previous 2. A fine adaptation, but not offering up anything new to learn. I do like the art, something about it feels like some of the old Legends comic art, but it's definitely not a must-read if you're looking for new information about the story. For Story of the Month, obviously it's gonna be Andor. I think I'll give it to episode 4 specifically, but if you're watching this video, you probably saw it already, so I'll recommend Dr. Aphra issue 24 as my next top choice if you're looking for another Star Wars story to check out. In October, we're getting 4 more episodes of Andor, all the Tales of the Jedi shorts, the return of the High Republic with Path of Deceit, and the first issues of both the relaunch of the main comic and 4 other comic issues. We're definitely ramping back up into having a lot of Star Wars to talk about after having a couple slower months. I am so pumped to keep going with Andor, to see Tales of the Jedi, and I'm psyched to have the High Republic back. But that's it for September. The Canon Update will return on October 31st to cover all those new stories. Until then, please like this video, subscribe to the channel to keep up with all our Star Wars coverage, follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.